Hello, how's everybody doing today? Today I want to talk to everyone about Asperger syndrome. It is a high functioning form of autism. Many people mistake it for ADHD because people with Asperger's are often very hyperactive and overstimulated by things around them. That is the number one most common thing it's misdiagnosed with. The other would be bipolar disorder because often people with Asperger's have wild mood swings like people that are bipolar, and they have a tendency to throw temper tantrums. It's really hard to diagnose because it takes more than just one-on-one interface. Some woman from the Department of Justice tried to imply that Vladimir Putin had Asperger's because she saw videos of him and he didn't make any direct eye contact with anybody or show much expression in his face. Well, unbeknownst to her, you cannot make that kind of diagnosis just by watching a video. A world renowned doctor from the University of North Carolina even explained that. Just because people don't wear their hearts on their sleeves and don't always get overly sentimental over things and have blank expressions doesn't mean they're on the spectrum. Oftentimes, people on the spectrum are mistaken for being narcissists or sociopaths. Well, I'm here to explain to everybody that's anything but true. See, most narcissists and most sociopaths are very charming and very seductive. They're very good at playing all the angles and manipulating the people. Folks with Asperger's aren't. They're very honest and straightforward and about as sincere as it gets. All those bad boys out there that the girls fall in love with for cheap thrills, 9 times out of 10 are the ones that have the narcissistic personalities. They're very self important and everything's always got to be about them. They don't care about anybody but themselves and they'll use anybody to get what they want and discard them like cheap pieces of garbage. They care nothing about the people they hurt. Everything has always got to be about them. And whenever you confront them about it, they try to turn everybody else around you against you. That's the difference between somebody with Asperger's and a narcissist and a sociopath. They're sociopaths and the narcissists are extremely charming and manipulative and seductive. That's one reason why Ted Bundy was so hard to catch. He wasn't your average serial killer. Most people think that all serial killers are just like Charles Manson and that they're all psychopaths and you can tell them who they are by a mile away, but that's anything but true. There are several different subcategories of serial killers. Ted Bundy had very good people skills. He was very good at charming people and manipulating people, and he had great, what I call camouflage, a way to hide who he truly was. Bundy was very personable, and he always had a great shit-eating smile, and he knew how to charm people. He even worked at a rape crisis center. That's how charming Ted Bundy was. He wasn't at all like Jeffrey Dahmer, who was more quiet and reserved. That's why serial killers are so hard to catch. They're not the kind of guys you'd see walking around with tattoos saying "born to lose" across their chests like all the gang members out there. Those are the guys that are narcissists and the sociopaths. So, that being said, the media has done a fine job pigeonholing all people with Asperger's as being sociopaths because of the Sandy Hook and UCSB shootings. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that wasn't the cause of Adam Lanza and Elliot Rodger going postal. Social isolation is what pushed them over the edge. They got tired of being ostracized and bullied and stigmatized by all their peers, and they finally snapped one day and they went on shooting rampages. They weren't treated for their conditions. Everybody ignored all the warning signs. They tried to blame it on Asperger's and not their backgrounds. Elliot Rodger should have gotten treatment for his condition. He was also part of the Manosphere, the dangerous group of masculists that tell you that a man's worthiness is measured by how many women he sleeps with. the kinds that make you question your own masculinity. Those are the people that you need to watch out for. Those people are also narcissists. Many of them probably are sociopaths. If you want to know who a real sociopath is, take a look at Ted Nugent. He meets the archetype of a sociopath and a narcissist. Ted Nugent, first of all, is a lying coward. He's a gun nut and a warmongering hawk, yet he admittedly dodged the draft during the Vietnam War by soiling his pants. Ted Nugent also has an enormous ego, and he's got a loud mouth, and he always has to be the center of attention. Ted Nugent, during his prime, in his late 20s, also was screwing around on his wife while he was on tour when she was raising his two kids with teenage girls. He even had a 17-year-old girlfriend by the name of Pele Massa from Hawaii, and Ted Nugent swindled her parents into signing him over as her legal guardian so he could bring her back to the United States. And let's not forget about all the trophy hunting he's done. That man is pure slime. Donald Trump is also a narcissist. He could probably pass for a sociopath too, because he doesn't have very much empathy. He has zero compassion for the middle class and the poor, and he always has to stir up trouble. He always has to be the center of attention. He's always making controversial remarks to gain people's acceptance. He doesn't care about anybody but himself, and he'll throw anybody under the bus to get ahead. He has no conscience. Yet people don't read between the lines because he's so charming and so seductive, and they listen too much to Fox News instead of gathering all the facts. There are many brilliant people out there that had Asperger's that nobody seems to think twice about, like Albert Einstein, like Mozart, like Beethoven, H.P. Lovecraft, Susan Boyle, the big winner from American Idol, was another one. Not to mention, there was Thomas Edison, who else? Let's see, Nikola Tesla. Brilliant minds, nonetheless. These are people that have changed the course of history. That's why I don't think of Asperger's or autism as an impediment or a handicap, but more or less evolution. If our brains were all TV sets, everybody's person's brain was a TV set. Most people's brains would be on a regular network like NBC, CBS, ABC's. Ours is more on HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, somewhere like that. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with us by any stretch of the imagination. That just means that our brains are hardwired differently. So, that being said, I wanted to give somebody some insight about Asperger's. I hope you found all this information to be very beneficial, and I will be posting more videos. Take care, everybody.